on Times Radio.
Across the UK, on DAB digital radio, online and on your smart speaker. This is Times Radio, the voice of the Times.
It's 6 o'clock. I'm John Pienaar. Welcome to Pienaar and Friends. Tonight, that's the political editor at The Sun on Sunday, Kate Ferguson, and Mikey Smith from the Mirror. We're also going to be crossing over to Washington, D.C. in maybe about half an hour's time to hear live from the White House for their regular press briefing. Should be as interesting as it's ever been this evening. So let's talk after the news with Laura Cook.
Thank you. Good evening. Donald Trump's national security advisor appears to have confirmed the US is pausing intelligence sharing with the Ukrainians. Mike Waltz says America has taken a step back to review its relationship with Kyiv. The Times' defence editor Larissa Brown explains how important intelligence of this kind is on the battlefield.
US intelligence helps the Ukrainians know that Russian missiles and drones are headed their way. And this is intelligence that's gathered from satellites and also other sophisticated American kit. And then there's also the ability to strike, deep behind enemy lines. That is also reliant on US targeting data, intelligence that shows where Russian positions are. So without all of that, they can't be exactly certain where some of these key targets are.
A judge has told a Chinese PhD student he faces a very long jail term when he's sentenced for drugging and raping 10 women. Authorities believe his final victim total could be 5 times that. Zhenhao Zhou met women on social media before spiking their drink and attacking them, often filming it on hidden cameras. Commander Kevin Southworth from Metropolitan Police says the scale of the offences was shocking.
Zhou is a clearly dangerous, predatory and cowardly individual who has deceived his way into the lives of his victim survivors before committing the most horrendous sexual assaults.
The Bank of England governors are urging the US to settle its concerns about the global economy through dialogue rather than impose tariffs. Donald Trump's long-threatened levies against Canada and Mexico have taken effect, sparking a trade war with America's neighbours. Duties on imports from China have also doubled. Andrew Bailey's been quizzed about the impact of potential changes to trade policy by the Commons Treasury Committee.
There is a major shift going on there in terms of certainly obviously in the US. So we have to take it very seriously. We have to address it. And we have to be prepared to address it. And I welcome what the government's doing on that front.
CCTV footage shows the movements of a former soldier on the day he killed 2 sisters and their mother in Hertfordshire. 26-year-old Kyle Cliffords admitted the triple murder at the family's home in Bushey last July using a crossbow and butcher's knife. One victim was his ex-girlfriend Louise Hunt, who he denies raping. 2 men have been charged with a decades-old murder. Anthony Littler, who was 45, was found with head injuries in an alleyway near East Finchley Tube Station, North London in 1984. Michael Stewart, who's now 55, and 59-year-old Anthony Stewart are due in court tomorrow. Over 1,000 complaints were made following Ofsted school inspections in England in the last 3 years. Figures have been released in a Freedom of Information request. The watchdog launched a consultation last month on proposal aimed at improving checks. And in rugby, Marcus Smith has been dropped to the bench for England's Six Nations clash with Italy on Sunday. He's been replaced by Elliot Daly in the team, with Jamie George and Fraser Dingwall also into the side. Dingwall won his last cap more than a year ago and says to be in and around squads without playing has been frustrating.
Moving out, it wasn't always necessarily a dropping. It was more that Ollie and Slady were the preferred 2, and so it's something that you could kind of come to terms with. It's just been around then pushing to get back into that team, and it hasn't necessarily been as fast as I would have hoped, but yeah, to finally get it is really pleasing.
And for a roundup of news on demand, subscribe to the Times news briefing on any podcast platform.
Across the UK, on DAB digital radio, on the free Times Radio app, and via your smart speaker.
John Pienaar on Times Radio Drive with NatWest Cushion.
It is good to have you with us here on Pienaar and Friends, and our good conversation in very good company, which tonight is Kate Ferguson from The Sun on Sunday and Mikey Smith from The Mirror. And we are also there for you to see as well as listen to on our YouTube channel running live at the